This month, I'm in Fruta, Colorado for the Desert Rats Trail Running Festival. I'm running the 102 kilometer event, which covers 63 miles through the high desert of the Colorado Plateau. Along the course, I'll be navigating the single track along the Colorado River, enjoying the majestic views of the Western Rim as I climb up and descend the mesas, plateaus, and canyons. During the run, we are faced with scorching temperatures, no shade, and a desolate and wild landscape. This is my first race of this distance, and the cutoff time is 20 hours, which means all competitors must cross the finish line by 1 a.m. Join me on this adventure. Can I make it back before the clock strikes 1?
You guys know it's going to be hot, so we've got some kiddie pools that we can dunk you in if we really need to.
And vining. I'm doing 100K. The reason I'm out here in Colorado today is because in January I had an ice climbing trip planned with a friend, but he couldn't make it. And instead of cancelling, he said, let's postpone our adventure and go to Switzerland in August of 2026. I said, dude, that's 18 months away and that's awfully specific. What's happening in Switzerland in August of 26? And he told me about the UTMB race that covers 100 miles, which is 171 kilometres through France, Italy and Switzerland. And he wants to arrive to acclimatise by hiking around Switzerland for 3 weeks before the race. Now I said, hey, that sounds fun, but instead of just being your training lackey, I want to run this race too. He explained that I need to qualify and earn enough running stones which grant entries into the lottery for the event. I started training immediately and I was hooked. Before even running my first race, I'd signed up for 7 ultramarathon trail runs. I started small and signed up for a 50 kilometre trail run at Tarawera in New Zealand in February, and then I did a 50 kilometre run at the Fin de Mundo in Argentina in March, and here I am for my first 100 kilometre in Colorado in April. The best race prep is a peach Italian soda. Do I have a moustache? I feel this is a good first 100 kilometre because the vertical elevation gain is 2,050 metres, which is less than most of the events in the Alps or Patagonia. But what this race lacks in elevation gain, it makes up for in starting elevation. We're starting at 4,500 feet, which is 1,400 metres above sea level, and that means we're already breathing thin air. Combine this with the heat, and we're in for a challenge. We start here, we run out here, Rabbit Valley, out to Western Rim, we come around, back to Rabbit Valley, and then along the out and back, Salt Creek, and back to the finish. I'm expecting it should take about 19 hours.
Good luck today. You guys have a good race.
All right, folks, you ready to do this? All right, spectators, let's get a good cheer for these folks. Come on, here we go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go!
We've got a fairly flat course today. That's nice. We're expecting some oppressive heat today. What a great place to be on a Saturday morning.
Beautiful, brother.
What a magnificent place to be. Colorado River down there. The sun's just coming up and we're having a great time. 14.3 kilometers done. I feel lucky and grateful to be able to call this land my home, and we're free to explore the many natural wonders she holds. I appreciate the opportunity to run and walk through these calm places, and am filled with awe at the expanse and the natural beauty. We often think of the desert as a bland and desolate place, but when you take the time to move slowly and admire the landscape, it's fascinating to see the details, like the orange and purple wildflowers, the ant colonies, the birds flying overhead, the plants that are resilient to the dry conditions, and the valleys and canyons that are carved by millions of years of water flowing over them.
Good job, runners!
Thanks for being here and having all this food ready for us.
Yeah, thanks for running.
The cutoff time for the race is 20 hours. We started at 5 a.m. and this means I need to be at the finish line by 1 a.m. If If I don't make it in time, even though I cross the finish line, they mark me as did not finish because I didn't make it before the time limit. I made this little timesheet so that I'd make sure that I'm on track. And the time here that I'd need to be at would be 4 hours into it. I'm 3:16, so we're on track. But not if I keep stopping and chatting and eating too much at the aid stations. We're at the 20k mark here, so a fifth of the way through the race. Been on course a little under 3 hours, so it's just before 8 a.m. And what magnificent countryside. Right now, we're zigzagging around all these canyons. These deep, majestic canyons. And this morning, as the sun was coming up, it was hitting them. It was so red. I think soon it's going to be time to stop and put my hat and then some sunscreen on. Otherwise that sunburn will creep up on me. The sun's definitely out in force now. It's time to put my hat on. Bought this big broad brim hat. Yes, please. Thank you. And get the camera too. Yeah, good. Thank you. Thanks, everyone. Bye.
Have a good one.
4 hours and 19 minutes on course. Even though we call it a race, I don't feel like I'm racing the other competitors. The race is against myself to complete the distance within the time limit. I like the quote from Sir Edmund Hillary, who was the first person to summit Mount Everest. It's not the mountains we conquer, but ourselves. The most important challenges and victories in life are often internal, involving overcoming personal limitations and doubts and fears rather than just achieving external goals. I was just running for a bit and I just thought I need to slow down a bit here. This is why we do it. Overcoming the hardship. I'm wearing these Adidas Terex shorts. I have never worn them before. I was looking for my salt shoes and I pulled out a gel while I was looking for it. I went to go tuck it back in and realized I didn't put it in the right spot. There's like rattling around inside my underwear. Looking at my little sheet, if I want to finish in 18 hours, I need to be here after a cumulative time of 6 hours and 40 minutes. And the clock just ticked 6:40.
Nice work!
Welcome. Thank you.
Nothing like restocking at an aid station to get people running again. It's windy. There's all these like dust devils that are coming up. And this is some advice that I can appreciate. Happy to do that. When I hit moments of low and desperation, I wonder why I signed up for this race. I think I should have entered the 50 kilometer race. That's a fun distance. I can be back in time for a nice dinner and a relaxing night. At this pace, I might be pushing the cutoff at the end of the night. I'm a little bit concerned about that. But the trick is to keep moving forward, one foot in front of the other. It won't be long until I get a second wind and I'm feeling good again. And the best enjoyment comes in the weeks and the months after the event is over. The feeling of pain, exhaustion, blisters and chafe are far outweighed by the satisfaction of completion. It's 7:40 p.m. This cow up here is going to play chicken with me for the middle of the road. She broke first. We're about 25 minutes after sunset and it's time to put the headlamp on now. Up we go. Oh, it's like a disco here. Love it. Yeah. Yeah, my legs are cramping when I sit down. Oh, that's better. Fresh shoes. It's like a holiday. Every time I bend down to put on the new shoes, get cramps in the legs. Like the salt stains all over my shirt. I think that when I take this shirt off, it'll stand up by itself. 12 kilometers to go. As the night set in, I realized I'm behind schedule and I need to pick up the pace. I had to dig deep, but I still wasn't sure if I could make it in time. Talking with some of the other runners, I learned that the last 7 kilometres are technical, single trail, and will be much slower going than the 15 kilometres leading up to it. I'd been planning my pace around a constant rhythm. Will I make it in time for my first 100 kilometre race, or will I get a DNF even after crossing the finish line? 2.4 miles to go. It's just struck midnight. Got 1 hour. Have to pick up the pace. This is going to be really tight. I'm wondering if I'm going to be able to see the finish after cresting this hill. I can hear the music from the finish line. What a great sight. Thank you.
Here we go. Welcome to the finish line. Mining, way to get it done.
You did it. You got it. Oh yeah.
Yes.
Good job, man.
Well done. Thank you.
Australia represents.
Woo! I feel fortunate that these events take me to so many interesting places. From the forests of New Zealand to the snow-covered peaks of Patagonia to the high desert of Colorado. Trail running is taking me to wild and majestic places. See you in my next adventure where I'll be running in Australia in the Ultra Trail Australia UTMB event. I endure a lot more elevation gain and a punishing wet and foggy night. That event took me a lot longer to finish. Check out the video to see why.